Hi everyone, my name is Laurie and welcome along to another edition of AFTV FANZONE, the show that gives the fans the opportunity to come on and air their views. All you have to do is download the app and you can get access to the show. But without any further ado, let me first introduce my special guest on the show today, none other than the lovely Talia. How are you doing today?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's great to have you. Before we get into things proper, for those on AFTV that don't know too much about you, give the fans out there a little backdrop on your background and how you got into this and stuff like that. For those of you who don't know.
Yeah, of course. Well, I think I'll quickly start with obviously the obvious that I'm a very big Arsenal fan. Yeah. Always have been since I was a little kid. My grandfather, my father, and my brother are all Arsenal fans. But that's not just kind of what I do. I actually host a podcast called I Got Back Up, and what we do on I Got Back Up is we connect with people coming back from life-changing events, traumas, and recoveries. But it's interesting because I speak to quite a few athletes on the show.
Oh wow!
So if anyone's interested in listening to some of their stories of recovery, there we go.
So there you have it. The lovely Tally's in the house, and she talked about football. She could talk about other things, motivate you, whatever. That's great to know. Okay, then. So in terms of today's show then, the subject matter, you've seen the title on the screen there. Let me give you some backdrop. First of all, as you all know, the Premier League is back after the international break. We're all happy about that. And tomorrow, Arsenal take on Chelsea in a massive game. Massive game, actually. 5:30 kickoff at Chelsea, London derby. And I must admit, judging the mood of the fans, the Arsenal fans certainly that I've spoken to, we're still gassed about the City win. And it would appear that a lot of the fans are very confident. A lot of them think it's going to be easy work. Now, I must admit, I'm confident, but I'm not as confident as some of the fans I've spoken to. They're of the opinion that, listen, we're coming off that great win against City, beat City, unbeaten in the league. And when it comes to Chelsea, I think we've won 5 of the last 6 Premier League games. So the fans are gassed and they think it's going to be easy work. Myself, on the flip side of it, I'm looking at that game and I'm thinking Chelsea, they've had a bit of a renaissance in form recently. I think they're 3-3 in terms of wins. Well, I know one of them was an EFL Cup game, but their trajectory is upwards. They're at home. They've not performed the best at home this season, but you would have thought that a game like this, a London derby, sold out stadium, they're going to be up for it. So I think that it could be a very challenging game. But Talia, what's your thought?
See, I don't think it's going to be as much of a challenging game. I obviously understand your points entirely, but I don't think it's going to be as much of a challenging game. We're unbeaten obviously so far, but also especially away from home. We haven't conceded anything at home away from home at the moment. So that is something to definitely take in mind. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there you have it, people. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We'll also be talking about making reference to Mikel Arteta's press conference yesterday, in which he discussed notably whether Bukayo Saka will be back in contention for the game. There were some question marks raised about William Saliba's fitness. Mm-hmm. We're hearing that he might have a toe injury and 1 or 2 other things. So we'll talk about that. There's also the Aaron Ramsdale debate that's constantly ongoing. Who should start in goal? He's given an interview recently where he spoke about some of the comments being made by 1 or 2 people in the press, notably Jamie Carragher. There was a stuff of his dad, so I'll be interested to hear what Talia has to think about that. Let's start with the Saka thing. Do you expect him to play tomorrow?
Yeah.
Should he play tomorrow? There's a school of thought that's saying that we're overworking Saka, and people like myself who would say, look, he wants to play every game. It's only natural. He's young. Of course he's going to want to play every game, but then other people are saying to me, well, we need to be more careful, rest him. What's your thoughts on it?
I think we should play him, and I do think obviously he wants to play. I think obviously he didn't go, away with the England squad, so he wasn't there with the international break. But then again, I think Mikel Arteta said that even though he didn't play with England, the recovery and what he's going through with rehab, it's still very physical. So I think that having the break for the last few weeks, I think it's 3 weeks or so, is probably what he's needed. And I guess that's the thing, when you are recovering from something physical, you still have to be physically, engaged. Yep. So I do think it's good to start him. And I think maybe, very early on in the game, we'll be able to see whether it's a good idea to have him on or to take him off.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think if he's fit, and no doubt they would have assessed him in training. If he's fit, then I think he should start, because personally, I think that this is a massive game. You see, where I'm coming from is this. there's no point in beating City and then coming a cropper against Chelsea. You know what I mean? So we do need our strongest team out. But then that begs the question, what is the strongest team? I was going to ask you, would you start Havertz tomorrow?
Well, that's a good question, isn't it?
He's returning to the bridge. There'll be a lot of pressure on him if he does play. Some people are saying stick him in there because this could be the game where he really finds his form. Other people are saying that he's not found his best form yet and that he doesn't deserve to be in the starting lineup. Where do you sit in
there's an interesting statistic, and I think it said something like 21 maybe ex-Chelsea players, when they've gone back to play against their club in the Premier League, have ended up scoring. So this could be Havertz's game. He could do it. He could be on that list of players. But would I start him? Probably not.
Yeah, I could see why you might go that way.
Would you start him?
I'm with you, probably not, to be honest. I think it'd be a good ace in the hole to have on the bench. And let's be honest, if he does come on, I'm sure he'll be motivated to come on and try and prove his worth. Would I start him? Probably not. I think, well, let's start with you. I'm going to pose a call. Who would you go with tomorrow in terms of a starting 11?
I think that...
Raya or Ramsdale in goal?
I think Raya.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, I know we'll obviously talk about the whole Ramsdale thing, and I really like Ramsdale. I still do, and obviously we are going to discuss it, but I think at the moment it looks like Raya in goal.
Back four?
I think it would be, I mean, obviously hoping that Saliba's toe, because it is a toe, is okay, definitely him. Gabriel, Ben White.
And on the left?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think about, because that one's always an interesting one, isn't it? Who would you put on the left?
I'll probably go Zinchenko, to be honest.
Yeah, so would I. I think, I mean, again, he's a player. I think he's been great so far, and I think he is. I mean, I think he's amazing. Kind of as soon as he's shown up, he's really he's doing well.
He's a leader, and obviously he occupies that inverted role, brings something a little bit different, gives a bit of a edge going forward. So I think I'd go for him. Midfield.
Partey's fit now, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, he did represent Ghana, not too fortuitously, because they got slapped by, who did they play? They got 4-0, didn't they? By the USA, yeah. And then I think they got beat on their other game too. So it's not been the best of international breaks for Partey, but at least he's fit.
Yeah.
So if he's fit, I would start him. And of course, you've got Declan Rice.
Yep, 100%. And Odegaard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those three are incredible when you think about it. And I'm not just saying that as an Arsenal fan. Like, I think anyone that's not an Arsenal fan would probably agree.
That's got to be one of the... In fact, I think our back four is probably one of the best. Certainly our centre-back pairing is probably the best in the Premier League. The back four is right up there. Midfield as well. That's awesome midfield.
But that's what they're saying at the moment, especially like the back four, really, especially like Haaland at the City game, really, showed up for us and they really helped.
Yeah. Further up top.
Further up, it would probably be. I love Martinelli.
He's got a good record against Chelsea.
Yeah, he is. He's one of my favourite players. So definitely Martinelli, Saka, and Jesus.
Would you have Jesus through the middle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I think that represents our best team at the moment, in my view. And if everyone's fit and rearing to go, that would be my team. Yeah. Like I said, the likes of Havertz, Jorginho, Eddie Nketiah, people like that, on the bench, ready to come on and do a job if called upon. But certainly that's the team I would go with.
But I do think we have a solid bench. Like, if you put those 11 out, then actually to bring on, that was the whole point, obviously, with what we wanted this season, was to be able to rotate more players. So if other players had to go off earlier on in a game, we had strong people to bring in. And
let's not forget, of course, the likes of Reece Nelson.
Yep.
Emil Smith-Rowe, Kivior, we got lots of talent on the bench. Up to the manager, obviously, to use those wisely, which we trust him to do. But I think that team gives us a very good chance of beating Chelsea. Although I do caution against overconfidence. I'm going out and I'm listening to managers. Yeah, we're going to slap Chelsea. Yeah, this and that. And I'm like, bro, Chelsea, they've got some very good players. Notably Raheem Sterling, he's back in form. He's doing really well at the moment. And they've just picked up a little bit, haven't they? They've won their last 3 games. And you just get the feeling as an Arsenal fan, we could be playing them at the wrong time, if you see what I mean.
Nah.
No?
Do you? Well, I think it's better to play them now, maybe before they do start picking up a little bit more.
Right.
But then, do you think they have creativity at the moment? Because I think they're lacking that.
Yeah, they do have a couple of injuries as well. I mean, they've got the likes of Chilwell and Reece James. We're not sure if he's going to make it. I think probably not. And they've got a few other players out as well. But listen, they're a young team. They've got a good manager. They're at home. Like I said, they've got a bit of a renaissance in form. I'm expecting a tough test. I am confident we'll win. And like I said, we don't want to throw away the good work of beating City and then not, getting the result we need against Chelsea. But like I said, I do have my reservations.
Okay.
Is if we're going to just go in there and walk through them. I don't think that's going to happen. But we do have a right to be optimistic. But listen, people out there, man, you've seen the title. Easy win or a bridge too far. Download the app if you haven't done so already, and join the fan zone. Let us know what you think. We're here to talk. Like I said, we'll also be talking about some of the things that's gone on in the week with regards to some of the players, their fitness, the Ramsdale issue. Let's talk about that for a second. The Ramsdale, we spoke about it briefly. We both agreed that we would go with Raya over Ramsdale. But I've got to admit, I do feel a bit sorry for Ramsdale. He was a fan's favourite and still is. He was the man in possession of the shirt. It's ironic, actually, because when he came to the club, not a lot of people knew too much about him. And what they did know, it wasn't, people weren't over-infused. But he soon took over from Bernd Leno, who, let's face it, was a very capable keeper himself. And since then, he's done really well. He's almost become a bit of an iconic player at the club. And now he finds himself, on the bench, which is... it's a sign of how ruthless football can be at the top level. But there are a number of people who are pushing his case to start. I mean, I know Lee Judges, for example. Shout out to Lee Judges. He's a big fan of Ramsdale. He thinks he should be starting. And the manager, when questioned, has not given too much away. But it would appear anyway that Raya would appear to be his first choice. I think that's fair to say.
It is, and I do feel sorry for Ramsdale as well, because like we were saying, he has done fantastically, especially last season.
He's done very little wrong and a lot right.
He does, and I do sometimes see why people might not be as confident with him. But then again, a lot of footballers make very silly little mistakes. So to be able to just take him out this quickly, and you can see he's definitely struggling with it. I mean, anyone would be struggling with it. Anyone would be, but you can see he's struggling with it.
I mean, I watched his body language since he's been on the bench. Famously, there was that incident. I won't say incident, but they showed him when Raya had made that save and he was openly clapping him. And some people chose to throw shade on that, notably Jamie Carragher. I thought that was a bit of a cheap shot by Jamie Carragher doing that. Actually,
yeah, I agree with you.
Because, I just thought that was a little bit harsh. I mean, what was he supposed to do there? You know what I mean?
I think
if he sat there with his hands by his side, the likes of Jamie Carragher would be saying, "Oh, look, he's obviously hurting. He's a bit envious of that Raya's doing well, and look at him sulking and blah blah." Yeah. If he does the other thing, which is by
But it's true. It's like what do you do? And I think that was Jamie Carragher's tweet, wasn't it? It was something about the Oscars, and when you watch when you watch that, but
that just rub salt in the wound. If you're Ramsdale and you see that, you're going to be more deflated.
Yeah, 100%. And it is like when you're watching the Oscars. I know we're not talking about that, but when you are watching them and you do see it pan to the other people, you feel sorry for them. Yeah. But how do you react as the person that isn't them? Do you clap? Do you smile? Do you cry? It just comes to however it wants to come to you, and that is what came to Ramsdale.
A lot of us would have been in those moments where you're rivaling somebody.
Maybe we've all been there.
You know what I mean? Maybe somebody had chosen to do something that you wanted to do. How do you express it? You know what I mean?
I've been in there. I was in a cab with someone, and we'd both gone for a job interview, and we were both in the cab going back to the train station. Wow. And he got the call in the cab to say he got it. And I was like, I'm so happy for you.
I've been in that situation on both sides. I've been in going for jobs and promotions and that. I've been the one that's got the job. And even that is hard to handle because you don't quite know how to approach the person. And I've been on the other side of the coin as well, where you've fallen short. But then you think, listen, it's not that person's fault. You know what I mean? The person making the decision was not them. So you can't begrudge them too much. Obviously, you're hurt. Yeah. Your pride is hurt. But you still got to, professional, which is what Ramsdale's done. And he showed a moment of sincerity, I thought, and other people are interpreting that as acting, which you know. Then of course his dad made some comments about Carragher, and maybe the dad went in a bit too much. I don't know. It's his son, so you can understand why he would, you know, have those feelings towards his son. Some people said it was a little bit too much. It put too much emphasis on that.
But then again, you can't go attacking these people. It's not fair. I think Ramsdale said that I think the father was away with a bunch of mates on a golf trip or something. So who knows? They were probably all around the table. But at the end of the day, that's a father protecting their son, and if that's what the dad wanted to do, that's you know, that's what the dad wanted to do.
Somebody once told me, and it's such a true thing, they said sometimes the most dangerous thing in the world is a camera and a microphone. It can catch you in a moment of vulnerability, in an unguarded moment, and you can say something that's going to live with you forever. So that's a tip for you people out there, man. Be careful what you say in front of a camera and a microphone.
Oh yeah, once it's out there, it's out there.
Exactly. You can't pull it back. You can apologize, but it will still be there. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, I mean, listen, we know that if Ramsdale does get the nod tomorrow, he will be a more than capable replacement for Raya. I think we're in an honoured position where we got two goalkeepers of such standing fighting it out for a place in the team, which, let's face it, goalkeeper is a pivotal part of the team. So I'm comfortable with either. I do think Raya edges it, if I'm being honest. And the reason why I say that is I think he is superior. I don't like to use the word superior. I think he's a bit better with the ball at his feet. But there you go. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. In terms of the game, how do you see this game playing out? The game itself tomorrow.
As in, you want a score prediction, or you just how do we see it going?
Well, I mean, the reason why is because you said very clearly at the start of the show, and I get it. You said, "Look, I'm very confident. I think this will be." Well, you didn't say easy win, but you're very confident that Arsenal will get the win. Why do you think that?
Because I think like I said, you know, we are unbeaten at the moment, especially away from home. And it's like when we go away from home, it's like something different comes out of us, especially in the Premier League. And I think that we, you know, and also we haven't conceded a goal away from home.
That's true.
And I think, not that there's pressure on us to do that, but I think that's something that we're going to obviously keep up to maintain. And I think that especially when you look at the two different squads at the moment, yes, look, Chelsea do have a good team, you know. I mean, they are 11th, but they still have a good team.
You have to get that.
Sorry. But I think as a whole, Arsenal just work more coherently together. And I actually said, I think it was last season, obviously we came second in the league, and we did incredibly. But I felt like last season was a warm up to this season. So it was, I know we came second, so it's like, okay, if we came second last season, well, this season. But no, I felt that it was a warm up because I think that the players were still getting to gel together. But I feel like now, this season, they've gelled, and they understand it a lot more about each other. They can see each other's patterns. It just seems to work a lot better than it does as a Chelsea team at the moment.
So what would you say then to those people, and there are a few, in fact, I've probably said this on occasions myself, that we're perhaps not at our fluid best this season, meaning that last season we seem to be scoring more goals and we seem to be playing a more, if not exciting brand of football, more open, fluid style. So what would you say to people that say that?
Well, I can see where you're saying, actually, because I think especially at the beginning of the season, it was just quite a few 1-0s, wasn't it? It wasn't the big dominant goals in the games that we really want to see. I know we've had a few, but I do think that you know, obviously we've had the international break, but we kind of can come together and it will maybe start to get the ball rolling a lot more now. I think, you know, not that everyone likes a warm up, but it's maybe we needed a few weeks or so, and now we're really in the season. And it's now really starts, okay, we've got this now.
It may be that we've compromised our entertaining style somewhat, but that's been at the altar that we are more resilient now, less likely to be beaten, which is obviously borne out in the results. We're unbeaten so far on top of the league. So, okay, we may not be at our fluent, exciting best, but we're harder to beat. And in terms of winning a league, maybe that's an attribute that is more required.
And actually, just on that point, Yeah, no, but just on that point, actually, before I forget about it, we have had a massive injuries. And I'm not blaming that because we've still won games, but we've had a massive injuries. And now the squad seems to be coming back together. We've had Martinelli out for ages, then we had Trossard out.
Yeah.
And obviously Saka missed the last game as well. So we've had a massive injuries. And now they are cut. It's now a solid squad again. And I think that's really going to work in our favour. But the fact that we even had all those injuries and we're still winning or drawing games, I think still says a lot about the depths of the team.
I'm glad you mentioned Trossard, actually, because I should have mentioned him earlier when I was talking about the bench. He probably won't start tomorrow, but I'm sure if he's fit, he will figure in the game.
Yeah, 100%.
So it was remiss of me not to mention Trossard earlier. I apologise for that. So looking at our head-to-heads with Chelsea, we've been fairly dominant, let's be honest. In the last 6 Premier League games, we've won 5 of them. So that's a very good record. In addition to that, Arsenal have won each of their last 3 away league games against Chelsea. So even going to Stamford Bridge previously has not intimidated us in the slightest, judging on the results. So, and I'm also seeing here we could become the first side to win 4 in a row against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge since Watford did it, and that was in the early 80s. So we've also got a very good record in London derbies. Very good record, actually. I think it's one of the best runs for London teams ever. So on that basis, you've got every right to be confident. It's just that with me, I've just, sometimes when you get games on the horizon, you look at it, you think, you know what? I rather would have played Chelsea maybe a couple of weeks later than the first game after the international break. But we've got a caller on the line. Let's hear what he has to, or she has to say. Oh, I recognise this guy. That's my homie there, Dini. What are you saying, bro?
Are you good? How are you today? You okay?
I'm good,
Good,
man.
thank you.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm feeling a bit run down. It's been a long week, but I'm not too bad.
Okay. Hopefully you haven't got COVID, because I've got a few people I know that's gone down with that recently. Yeah.
Nah, man, I steer clear of that.
Okay, then without any further ado, you've seen the title. You've heard what myself and Talia have had to say. Where do you stand on the debate? Is it an easy win for Arsenal, or are you sceptical? Is maybe this be a bridge too far?
I feel like it will end up being an easy win. I feel like we do have to respect the fact that Chelsea, they have, even though people will say that the teams that they play, they're not of a level in that Premier League, in the Premier League. They have had 3 wins on the bounce. Their underlying numbers, as James has articulately said a lot, even on Tactical Insight and this, that, and the other, that the underlying numbers do stay, that they're playing better than their recent results or the start of the season would suggest. But at the same time, we are in our, whatever phase we're in of a process, and we've gotten to a point now where we have a team where, even though Chelsea are currently on that up, I still expect us to get that win tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, Talia was... Sorry.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say that Talia was making a very good point earlier, that if you look at the way the team's been playing this season, actually away from home, it could be argued that we're actually playing better away than we are at home. So
I don't know. Yeah, it's like we're more refined away from home. It actually doesn't make sense, but I like it because in recent years that hasn't been the case. Away from home, we've been getting slaughtered away from home. So it's nice to see that at the start of this season, it's a case of we haven't conceded 1 goal away from home, and that is brilliant to see. And I hopefully we can take that to the bridge, because in terms of this run and in the law of averages of saying we may not get the win tomorrow because no one apart from Watford hasn't got the 4th win at a bridge in a row. At the same time, Man City didn't show us no mercy when they were battering us 5 times in a row, 6 times in a row, this, that, and the other. I'm thinking, if we want to be that team that's going to be like, hey, yo, Arsenal coming into town, I want us to beat Chelsea tomorrow. I don't think it will start as free-flowing as it might end up being, but I do think we'll score goals, and I feel we need to put the salt to them. I don't care about Chelsea's recent resurgence.
Okay. Let me bring in Talia, actually, see if she wants to. Do you want to ask Dini any questions or comment on anything he said there?
So then, because it seemed like you were saying it was going to be an easy run, but then you said you didn't think it was at the beginning. So you think what we're going to start
tomorrow?
Yeah.
No, so I do think I think it will end up being an easy win, but I don't think it will start out though. I think it will end up because, like you said, we are at a place now after the international break. It's like, okay, we can hit the ground running even more so. But in the first 20 minutes or so, we'll let the man find themselves a little bit on the pitch and this, that, and the other. And then, boom, I think in the second half, we'll just go from there, and that's what I think will end up happening.
Do you think we should start Kai Havertz?
No, I don't think we should. But I feel like at the same time, no, I don't. I want to see Partey. If Partey is fit, Odegaard's fit, Rice is fit, let's see that midfield. Come on, let's just see it. And let Kai Havertz come on in the second half, try and set him up front, because I feel like that's probably where he's been best. Though that's where he's had his best moments, is up front, the long balls to him and creating havoc in the box.
Okay, Dini.
No, sorry.
We got to move on. We got some other callers on the line. But listen, bro, thank you very much for your call. Respect as always. Hope to hear from you soon.
See ya.
Every time. Take care.
Nice one. Okay, we got another caller. I recognise that face. I recognise that. Hey, I'm good, man. Lovely to see you and hear from you. What are you up to exactly?
I am currently I'm trying to build a studio. Building my studio. You can see behind me, got some shirts, got some shirts on the wall there.
Oh, wow.
You know, I'm just doing I'm not in the office, so today I'm at home working on building a home studio, but it's nice. Obviously I'll be there a bit later, but taking some time off.
Oh, good, man.
It's really taking time off. It's like every time you take time off, you like appear again.
He is.
I know. Well, I have to appear because, you know, I'm seeing Laurie talk about, you know, I think it'll be a tight game, but I don't know, is it going to be a tight game because maybe Eddie might start, your boy Eddie Laurie, or you put Saka back in if he's available?
If Eddie comes on, I'm sure he will do himself proud and the club. But I don't think you should start, though. I don't think you should start.
You don't think you should start? That's your boy, though, Laurie, no?
That is my boy. They're all my boys to a greater or lesser degree. But one of the reasons why I'm such a keen advocate for Eddie is he's got people like you always putting him down. You know what I mean? So I feel that it's incumbent upon me to support guys like Eddie. But listen, easy win or a bridge too far? Where do you stand on the debate, bro?
All right, I'll be real. I said it in the preview. I think it'll be a tight game. I think it'll be a 1-0. I think my thing is, I've said this as well. Chelsea have a lot to prove. They've got to prove their fans. You know, Conte's going to want. You know, there's been some ex-Tottenham. He's going to want to try and keep them at the top of the league by getting a result over Arsenal for an extra few days. We've got people like Caicedo wanting to prove themselves. You know, they're linked to Arsenal. Mudryk as well. He's got a lot to prove. So they've got a lot. Raheem Sterling hasn't been selected for England past 2 times, so he's going to want to prove a lot, especially against Arsenal. It's a big game, London derby. So they've got more to prove, but the win for us will be more important. But I do think it'll be a tight affair. I've read all the stats. I mean, I know our record there has been really good at Stamford Bridge, but I just think, you know, we've won 1-0 a few times away from home. I think we do a professional job, get it done. But I think it will be tight. I think there'll be a lot of, it'll be quite physical as well. I think the players will be very much, you know, in this game. But 1-0 win, I think it'll be tight. And I know you spoke about Ramsdale and Raya, obviously with his recent words in the media, obviously, and then his dad obviously kicking up a bit of a fuss, which I understand. Listen, I think Raya will start, but don't be surprised if Ramsdale does. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, Mikel Arteta, when it comes to Chelsea...
Do you know something that we don't? I know you got...
He says
I know you
smile.
and Eddie were close. Have you been putting in work behind the scenes, calling him on Friday?
There's no putting in work. I just think, like, we've seen, when it comes to Arsenal versus Chelsea, people get their opportunity. And I'm not saying Ramsdale needs an opportunity, but he goes with something different. So you see, like, Emile Smith-Rowe got brought on Boxing Day, had an amazing game against Chelsea. There was Eddie Nketiah as well. I don't know if obviously Mikel Arteta's hand might have been a bit forced there, but he came in, stole the show. I think got 2 goals as well. And then obviously last season as well, we've done really well. And he's given players a lot of opportunity, and it normally comes against Chelsea. So I don't know. I might see.
But you know what? Let me stop you there, right? So because you're kind of saying what I said, right? Even though we've not spoken about this for, you know, because I haven't seen you for a few days in the office. That's another story, by the way. But we got Talia here. Talia, with respect, she's gone down a slightly different route. She thinks it might be, how can I put this? Maybe less challenging than what me and you are seeing it. So Talia, tell Cecil why you disagree with what me and Cecil say.
Because I think realistically we're battling for the title race. And obviously it's an incredibly important game for both sides, of course, but we're battling for the title race, and that's what we have in mind. Chelsea, I mean, they're battling to try to get some sort of, European Cup. So I think, yes, they're both coming in wanting the win, but I just think that Arsenal are it's just going to be a lot easier for them to win.
And do you know what? I understand that side because, funny enough, we was at Stamford Bridge, obviously, doing the previews, and loads of Chelsea fans come up to us. Mad confidence.
They were pulling up.
You're getting smoked on Saturday. I looked at them, I said, are you sure? I said, what gives you that confidence? And they're like, well, we've won our last couple of games. I said, so we're going to get smoked. Us, we're close to top of the league. We were unbeaten. We've just beaten City. And you think you're going to smoke us? And then they went, is Saka playing? I said, yeah, he'll probably play. And they went, so I actually see Tyler's side because on the flip side, we are unbeaten still in the league. We've coming off the back of, a good international break. We've got all our players returning. But I think maybe Trossard might not be available. We've got most of our players returning. So there's a sense of confidence there from Arsenal fans. And like you said, we are going for the league. We can't afford to slip up when it comes to Chelsea away when we normally have a good record there. We've beaten them in the last 4. So I understand that. I understand Tyler's side. I understand Laurie's side. I'm more Laurie's side because I don't want to be too overly confident at this stage. And I don't know, something's in me saying we might only just about win. But you know what? My feelings always of past have been wrong. You saw me against City. I thought I was going to get smoked. And we won that game, and which was opposite to how Laurie and James are feeling. But so I do get Talia's side. It just kind of depends who Arteta goes with. I mean, there's an obvious starting 11. That midfield that we all speak about: Declan Rice, Odegaard, and Partey. You see that? I think you win the midfield battle there. If we see Saka return, Martinelli, and Jesus up top, then we see a win there. But I don't know if Arteta's going to go with what he went with against City and have Eddie Nketiah start with Jesus alongside Martinelli. If that's the case, I think we win. I just don't think it'll be as comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cecil. Listen, bro, thanks very much for calling in. You will be at the game tomorrow, so I hope all goes well and we get the win, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Thanks for calling. Take care.
Thank you very much. See you soon.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Right, we got another call on the line. Let's hear what he has to say. You are, sir.
Hi guys, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I can detect an Aussie accent there.
No, I'm English. People.
Yeah, I was going to say, when he first said hello, I was like, is it? And then I was like, no,
right,
it's English.
Maybe because he looks like David Warner. I don't know. You like cricket because you look.
I've been called worse. So I'll take that. First time caller. Like, thanks for having me. I think we're going to smoke them. Honestly, wow. I'm going 3-0. I'm just so confident. The way we've been playing, like against City, I just come away from it, and we just battled so well, and we just come together so well. And even with Jorginho coming in, and everyone was worried, and I was really worried. I'm sitting there thinking Jorginho in there, and we just bossed it. And then when Partey come on and Martinelli come on, we just look so strong. And I just think we're going for full fitness. If everyone's fit and we get Partey, Odegaard and Rice in the middle, Saka on one side, Martinelli and Jesus the top, with our centre-back pairing and Ben White and Jay, I just can't see anything else. But
I like your confidence.
Just a smoking. Like,
I like the confidence.
They're not in form. They're struggling. It's about time we laid down the law in this Premier League and said what we're about. And I'm just going in it like buzzing with confidence.
Talia, have you got any thoughts? Because he agrees with you, by the way.
Yeah, he does, and I actually like it. But I agree with what he's saying, and I think I liked his point when he said it's time for us to lay down the law. Because I think after beating City, it's like, okay, we're showing people, right, we are in here, we're in this now, we're here for business. We beat City, so we're doing this. We're going for the title, and I think that's what we were saying before. The difference between us and Chelsea is we can't drop points. The margins between dropping points at the top to dropping points further down the table, that's what you win the league by and what you don't. So we're going in this to win the league. Chelsea aren't going in it to win the league.
I just think we're at different stages. Like, I'm not going to deny, like, I know Robbie, I was watching the debate or whether he kept going 1 million. 1 million's been spent.
1 billion. 1 billion, he was saying.
1 billion, sorry.
Yeah.
I know they have spent that money. I do think in a couple of seasons' time, I think they will be a lot better. And I think with Poch and some of the young players, and obviously they've got a lot of injuries, I do think in a few years, like, I do think they will be good. But at the minute, they're 2-3 years behind what we're at, and I just think we're going to be dominant. And I just wanted to touch on the Raya and Ramsdale thing as well.
Of course.
Like,
go ahead, bro.
I think we all can see it. He prefers Raya, so Raya's going to be starting. Like,
I think
love Ramsdale.
I'm with you on that. I think at the end of the day, listen, he's brought this guy in. Apparently, we were looking at Raya as far back as 2020. We were monitoring him, and he has a slightly different style to Ramsdale in that I think pretty much we can all agree he's slightly more adept with the ball at his feet, and I think that is the style that the manager wants to play.
More comfortable. He looks more comfortable on the ball, and that's what gets to me. I love Ramsdale. I think he's a slightly better shot stopper, just because he looks a bit more lanky and a bit more long-armed, and he can get to balls a bit better. But with playing on the ball and stuff, Raya just looks so comfortable, and I think he's just going to carry on going with that. And to touch on the point about what his reactions were I didn't really like that from him when he's clapping on the. I know you say, or if he's just sitting there, but just be professional and just nod, or just but clapping your arms above your head and stuff.
But do you not think that is in keeping? Do you not think, as I do, that demonstrative way that he has is in keeping with his personality? So the reason why I disagree with what Jamie Carragher said is that Jamie Carragher was hinting strongly. Well, in fact, he said it was like Oscar-style performance. I don't think it was. I think what you get with Ramsdale, he's a very showy, demonstrative, outspoken type of guy.
He does wear his heart on his sleeve.
So him doing that for me was not a show of, of him being over the top. It was just something that comes naturally to him. Talia, what do you think?
I think well, it's like anyone. He's hurting. It's obvious. It's hard for him to watch this, and especially when Ray is doing so well. He can see his position slipping away more and more. So just think about it. Everyone's reactions are different. It's how people react to these things.
He come in such high, didn't he? He come in. No one wanted him. Everyone was sitting like, why have we paid this money? He rocketed us up. We nearly challenged for the title last year. Everyone's going, why is he not England's number one? And then suddenly we brought in another keeper and he's on the bench. It's crazy to think, I think long term it might have an effect on the team. It might do well, and I am in Arteta we trust, because what has he done for us so far? So I'm in Arteta, but 3-0. We're going to smoke them. Let's go.
Listen, man, that's been a great call. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You must call back. I've enjoyed the call.
Thank you.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so there you have it. Another one that agrees with you. You know what? I like his confidence. And I do see where the Arsenal fans are getting their confidence from, because like I've said, we're top of the league, or joint top. We're unbeaten. We're coming off a great win against City. We've got a fantastic record against Chelsea in recent years. So why wouldn't we be confident? It's just that I look at this game, as I said before, I'm looking at this game. It's the first game after the international break. We're going away from home. It's 5:30 kickoff. The elements are there that we do need to be, how can I put it? We need to go there and stick our chests out, but we just need to recognise, we need to show them the proper respect. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. We've got another call on the line. And there he is.
Hey, Laurie.
Hey, how you doing, man? He's dressed in.
Solomon from Nigeria.
Yeah, so you got your traditional gear on today, man. I like the colours, man. Lovely.
Today's Friday, so we've got to make it colourful. That's the colourful.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice one. Okay, so you've seen the title there. Easy win or a bridge too far. You've heard what Tally's had to say. You've heard what I had to say. You've heard some of the other callers, presumably.
On this one, I'm going to be sticking with Laurie. I don't always sound with Laurie, but this one I'll do with Laurie. It's not going to be an easy one. For me, look, I know we are playing fine. I know we are better than Chelsea. I feel we are better than Chelsea. I feel the team is, despite not being at its peak, we are winning teams. But Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, no, it's not going to be easy. We just have to, I think one of the challenge we have is this win against City actually propelled some of our fans, and we kind of forget what we actually go through. When we become so confident and we go into these games, and sometimes complacency comes in, and then we lose our grip. I think we should treat this game with the utmost respect. Let's go into the game like we want to play Chelsea. We have to be serious about it. We have to attack when it is necessary. Make sure we are very disciplined at the back. Don't give Chelsea any chance. Forget about the fact that they are not scoring goals. But look, when it comes to the London derby, everybody wants to pick a point. I'm not over here in Nigeria. I cannot stand the Chelsea fans, so I can't just afford any slip up right now. We're competing with City, and I don't want any slip up right now. So we have to be serious with this game against Chelsea, and we have to win. We have to win. Yeah, I know we have to win, but we have to be cautious. Chelsea, despite not playing well, they are a very tough test. It's not going to be easy. In fact, I feel this is what is supposed to be our statement win. If we win City and win this game, then we can start making those statements. Not before this Chelsea. We have to win this game.
We have to win. So, Talia,
I'm with you on that.
I actually do see your point, making the statement, obviously not just at City, making it at Chelsea as well, but I think beating City was a big statement.
Oh, it's a statement.
We hadn't done it in, I mean...
It's a statement win.
Yeah, no that was a statement. And I think that I just think I stand by kind of what we were saying before. We are playing for two different things at the moment. And I think, one of the callers said actually earlier, the team, I think it was the last guy, the Chelsea team at the moment, they're about 2-3 years behind what we are. So it's like what we were a few years ago. And I see that as well. And I think that's what we're playing up against.
You know what? Listen, I've said that I do think we'll win the game, but I've also said that I do have some reservations about this game. In speaking to some of the fans, and I'm not talking about you, Talia, I'm speaking to some of the fans, they are very, very confident to the point where it's almost like an overconfidence. And you know what? I'm going to say this, yeah? I detected a similar thing when we played Fulham at home and we drew against Fulham.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that's what I'm cautioning against. When we played Fulham at home, I remember speaking to Turkish and one or two of the other guys. Shout out to Turkish. That man was predicting 4-5-0, and I'm like, okay, we should beat Fulham. I think we're going to beat Fulham, but come on, they're a Premier League team with some good players.
You know what, Laurie? I believe the game is not going to actually drop. But I believe I'm okay with just a 1-0 win. I am fine by it. I just need a win. I don't care how we get the win. If it has to be 3-2, if it has to be 1-0, if it has to be anyway, just get the win. Look, Chelsea fans will be on me if we lose. We just cannot lose.
Oh, the same for me.
We just cannot lose this one. Please, I beg you, please, Arsenal, you just have to win this one. You just have to win this one. For me, I'm not complacent. I'm going into the game expecting everybody to do what is right. With a fully fit team, everybody should be in the game. Everybody's there should be in the game. And I saw you guys discussing about Ramsdale and Raya. I feel it's unfair on Ramsdale because he hasn't really done anything wrong for me. I don't think he has done anything wrong. But it's just unfortunate that the manager likes Raya. He wanted him a couple of years ago and he actually got him in and he's having challenge. And even so,
okay then, bro. Listen, on that note, listen, we heard very much what you got to say. And listen, bro, thanks for the call. Big up to all the Arsenal fans out there in Nigeria, and we'll speak to you very soon, hopefully. Take care. Yeah, he does make some good points there. Like me, he's. I think it's about giving Chelsea the respect they deserve, because, like I said, they've not been at their best this season. They have had injuries. They're not playing that well. However, they are in a bit of a renaissance. They've got a good manager. They will be at home. It will be bang up for it tomorrow. It's another London derby. And I do think on their day, they can be a very good team. I mean, they smoked Burnley in their last game 4-1. I think before that, they beat Fulham 2-0. And they got an EFL Cup win. So they're three on the bounce. So they'll be coming into this game with a degree of confidence. So will we, by the way. But I'm just, cautioning against overconfidence. Right, we got another caller on the line. Dre.
Yo.
Dre Day, what's going on, bro? Yeah. So what you got to say then? I think we go there, stick our chests out, but show respect to the opposition. I do think it'll be a challenging game. However, Talia, she's not disrespecting the opposition. She just thinks that we're so far ahead of Chelsea that she's not seeing too many problems. Where do you stand?
Talia.
Oh, you're Talia? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think he has one of me. Like, if our plays line up, all looking for, I don't.
You're breaking up a bit there, but I can get the gist of what you're saying.
Yeah, I got the gist.
Yeah. Oh, we're losing you, man. We're losing you.
Can you hear me?
Maybe we could drop him out and bring him back in. Yeah, that's a shame. Most of them seem to be agreeing with you, Talia. So,
I know, but I think what he was saying though is what I was getting was if he plays the 11 that we're all expecting, then.
Listen, I see no reason for him to change that. Do you? I mean, there will be the temptation to play Havertz, I would imagine, because by bringing in Havertz, you're bringing in a player that, we know he has quality, and we know he will be extra motivated to prove to everybody that he is the man for Arsenal, that Chelsea were wrong to let him go. But we'll see how it goes. Apparently, Dre's back in now. Right, you're back. Yeah.
Let's give it a go.
Keep talking.
All right. Can you hear me now?
It's very similar to before, man.
All right, maybe I should.
Yeah. Try again. Come back. Yeah, we'll drop that. Come back. Yeah. So, have we got another caller on? Mikos, how you doing, bro?
How's it going? How are you guys?
Yeah. That sounds, if I'm right, Greek name, Mikos. Is that right?
It is a Greek name. It is a Greek name. Well, surname, but Greek, but from Australia.
I was going to say that's not an English accent.
How are you guys both doing?
I'm good, man. How
good, thank you. Good, thank you. How about you?
Before I give my side, I just say love for what you guys do, giving fans a chance to have a voice from all over the world. It's awesome. Connects us makes us feel a part of it. Look, I am team Laurie on this one. Wow. I think that in order for us to make it team Italia, we have to earn that right. We have to earn that right in the sense that the reason we've got, I think, 3 wins from 3.
That was a shame, especially as he was backing me.
So lost one backing me, lost one backing you.
He's back. He's back. Yeah.
I'm back. Sorry, I think. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't know what. I don't know if something's going on with.
I was literally about to say we can see you and hear you.
Yeah. We kind of got the gist of what you were saying. Yep. Notably that he's backing me. So yeah.
That's all you heard. You're like, yeah, he's backing me. It's fine. No, I mean, keep talking.
Are we going to go to another caller? Right.
Hi, people.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going?
I'm good, man.
Good.
Yeah. Where are you calling from? Where are you calling from today?
Calling from Australia.
Okay, cool.
Down under. I actually spoke to you 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you did. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I did remember.
At that point, I was in London, but yeah, I'm back in Australia now.
Wow. I hope you enjoyed your trip in London.
Oh, mate, it was incredible. I really enjoyed it. Got to spend time with the family and things like that. But just to echo what the guy said before, really love what everyone does at AFTV. It's such an engaging, interesting channel. So, and it's great to get us involved. And
appreciate that.
Keep it up, guys.
Yeah, thank you. In terms of the subject matter today, we got the game against Chelsea tomorrow, a massive game. London derby, Arsenal going to this game unbeaten, joint top. Chelsea on a bit of a renaissance as well. 3 wins back to back. How do you think that game plays out tomorrow? Easy win for us, or is it a bridge too far?
I wouldn't say either of those two. I don't think it will be an easy win because I watched Chelsea against Fulham a couple of weeks ago on the Monday night match. Don't know if either of you two caught it.
Yeah, I caught that.
I was very impressed with Chelsea. I thought there was real evidence that Pochettino's getting a system together. I thought their midfield trio of Caicedo, Enzo and Gallagher were really energetic and they were able to create their openings for Chelsea and they looked dangerous, to be honest. So I'm just a little bit concerned about that. But
no, I'm with you on that, bro. Yeah. And make no mistake, they've got some big game players. Yeah.
They do. I think the key for us is to control that midfield. So I mentioned those 3 names that Chelsea have. I think if Arsenal can get on the ball and control possession, the likes of Rice, maybe Partey, Odegaard, then I think that could be the key battleground, enable us to win a bit of control.
Do you think Chelsea are confident then going into this game? Or do you think Arsenal more confident?
Great question. I think how Chelsea will approach it, they'll look to play the underdog card, and Poch, I think, will tell his players, look, all the pressure's on Arsenal. They think they're in a title race. We're going to go there and surprise them with our emerging team that not everyone knows about. So I think they'll have a quiet confidence, but I also think Arsenal will be confident because we've just beaten Man City, slowly getting into our stride. So I think both teams can go in there with their chests out, to use your expression, Laurie, and to have that confidence about them. And one other thing I want to pick up on, people, something you said, Laurie, earlier on about, are we lacking fluidity? You posed that question. And I just feel like it might be Arteta's way of managing the players' energy levels, because the last couple of seasons we ran out of a bit of physical and mental energy towards the end of the season.
I agree.
Maybe it's a conscious decision to just play it a little bit in second gear. So
no, I hear that.
That's really interesting.
Come the back end of the season, we're going to pick up a little bit of energy and momentum.
Yeah, that's a really interesting way of putting it.
That's a very good point, actually. That's very good. You are right, and I have said that on previous shows, that I think that a lot of opposing fans was digging us out as a club, saying, "Oh, you bottled it, this and that," and I was saying, "Listen, seems to be the obvious thing to say because we fell short. But if you look at it, if you deep it, we had injuries and simply ran out of steam towards the end. Players that were doing their thing all season suddenly seem to just run out of juice.
Last season,
people like Thomas Partey, people like that. So I do take that point. The other point I was going to make before I bring Talia in is, if you look at Chelsea side, they got a couple of players. We spoke about Havertz wanting to go to Chelsea and prove everybody wrong. Alternatively, you can flip that and say the likes of Mudryk and Caicedo are in a very similar position for Chelsea. They're going to be looking forward to this game. I would have thought tomorrow, thinking if I get selected, I'm going to show Arsenal just why, you know what I mean, they wanted me. I went to Chelsea, I got a lot of stick from the Arsenal fans. This is what I'm about. Talia, what's your thoughts on it?
With regards to the others coming to play us, I just think well, that's what happens, isn't it? When you go to play your opposing, your old club, you want to prove it to, the club you're at and also the old club. But I think someone like Havertz, for instance, whether he starts, whether he doesn't, I don't think he will. But when he does come on the pitch, because he will at some point, I do think he's going to really want to prove it to Arsenal, to be like, look, guys, this is why I'm here. But then also to Chelsea, to be like, you let me go. So yeah, definitely, I think that's the case there.
One thing I'll say on Havertz, guys, because I know there's been a lot of discussion about him, and I know some might say it's not necessarily a seismic contribution or anything major, but just that layoff for Martinelli to score that winning goal against City, I thought that was a good little microcosm of what he can bring, maybe that Xhaka couldn't. So Xhaka obviously improved in that final season, but I think he lacked that little bit of cuteness with his passing. Sometimes he was a bit awkward and he would overhit passes. But Havertz's layoff was so well cushioned, and it was in the perfect spot for Martinelli. And you
know what, bro? I do agree with you on that. And I did say to a couple of the guys when we did the watch along, that play you've just described there, as much as I'm an advocate for Eddie, I've got to admit that if Eddie had been in that same situation that Havertz would, I don't see him laying the ball off. I think he would have turned and tried to shoot. So that is an excellent point that you've made there.
Yeah, but then, so do you think Havertz, he knows that he can get that pass rather than the goal?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to the approach of the player and the way they see the game, the way they read the game.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I think Havertz showed in that moment why he's such a good player. But listen, bro, we got a few other callers. Really welcome your call. You must call back. Big up to all the Aussie fans out there over there supporting Arsenal.
Yeah, it's great to chat with you guys. Thanks very much.
Nice to speak to you.
Thank you. Speak soon. Take care. Right, okay, so I guess we'll have to wrap up now. Right, so have you heard anything there
that swayed my opinion?
Sway your mind.
When I make up my mind, I make up my mind.
You're still as confident now as you was at the top of the show.
Yeah, I am. I look, I see everyone's points. I see your point. I see everyone that stood by you. I understand where everyone's coming from, but I just stand by my points as well. And I just think we're going in it with a completely different head and a completely different, what we want from a completely different outcome. Yes, everyone wants the 3 points, but I think the fact that we're so hungry for it gives us that edge.
Yeah, I hear that. So.
Have you been swayed?
You know what? I do think we'll win. I do think we'll win. I think it could be a goal either side. I think it could be a 1-0 to us or a 2-1 to us. But I am expecting a hard-fought game because I do respect Chelsea. I'm not saying that you don't, not for 1 second. I can just see that tomorrow is going to be a keenly contested game. As I said to you before, I'd rather have played the Chelsea of a few weeks ago rather than the one we're playing tomorrow, that coming off the back of 3 wins back-to-back, playing at home. first game after the international break. And like I said, it's not like they're playing great at home.
Yeah.
I just think that they might probably raise themselves for the occasion. But listen, man, if you're right, I'll be more than happy to go with it. So yeah, listen, man, it's been great. Tell the people again in closing where they can find you on social media. And
yeah, of course. So you can find me on social media, my name, so Talia Lazarus. And if you are interested in checking out the podcast, it's called I Got Back Up. It's all based off of an injury and an accident I had myself. So yeah, you can find it there, and you can listen to I Got Back Up on all the podcast stations. So yeah, that's basically it. But
Talia's told me a story, and it's a very heartwarming and very motivational story. So listen, no cap. I love what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank
you must
very
come
much.
back on AFTV very, very soon. Listen, thanks to everybody out there for tuning in. All those people who called in, really appreciate it. You've seen it there on the screen. If you want to call in for future shows, download the app to join us on FANZONE. Keep them locked and loaded on the channel. We'll see you very soon. Take care. We are out.